welcome to On the Couch with Shuntai and Johnell. I am Shuntai Hill.
And I'm Johnell Allen Bay, and welcome to another episode.
Yes, so today we're talking about success after struggle. And we have two wonderful guests, and we're starting off first with the beautiful Nicole Rubin. We are fine.
Is it Nicole R. Rubin?
It's Nicole L.
L. Rubin, okay. We don't want to mess that up. Somebody else will get
Make sure
your
they know
props.
who you are.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Nicole L. Rubin.
So Nicole, why don't you share with us, starting out, who is Nicole Rubin?
So I'm a lover of Christ.
Okay.
First and foremost.
Okay.
I'm a mother. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm just the one that enjoys helping others be successful.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fine.
So there were some struggles that you have experienced in your life to make you who you are today,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So why don't you share with us some of the struggles that you experienced?
Wow. So growing up, I couldn't find my place at the table.
Okay.
And because I couldn't find my place, I was always searching for things that weren't for me.
Okay.
Going through the military and not getting the support that I thought I should get from the military. Being a young married mother, that was difficult. Being 20 years old, having a husband and a child, and I don't even know how to raise me.
Okay.
Right.
So I later realized that I was trying to fit at the wrong table. So that's when things started changing for me, when I realized the table that I'm supposed to be at.
Okay.
Okay. So, the title is everything, success after struggle. Talk to us more about how that struggle looks and make us be able to feel some of that struggle so that we can get an understanding of why success is so important after what you've been through.
So being a young mother, you desire to have that family.
Okay.
You desire to maintain it, have a mother, a father, and a child. And I struggled with that because my husband was abusive. And I didn't know how to leave because I was with him from the time I was 14 in middle school. And then we did middle school, high school, college, joined the Marine Corps together. So I didn't know how to leave that. I wanted to maintain that relationship.
Wow.
So struggling through that, and I didn't get the support in the Marine Corps that I thought. They would see bruises, they would know we were fighting, but they wouldn't stay separate. So it took a lot for me to say, I need to be a mom. I became an alcoholic. I started doing things that just wasn't right. But I didn't know they weren't right because I was just living in my pain.
Right.
So I was struggling through those things. And it just like one day, I just couldn't do it anymore. I saw my husband, he was falling apart. He started using drugs. He started being out in the world. And I had to decide, do we stay together as a family or do I take on this responsibility and be a mom and raise our son and make sure that he can be the best man he could be?
Right.
Yeah, that's the struggle.
Definitely.
And then there were other struggles because you're not just presented with one struggle. You go through one, you get through it. Then something else is dropped on your plate, and then you get through it. You went back to school.
I did. I went back to school because I wanted to show my children that no matter what was going on, you can make it. So I went to culinary art school. I had a 5-year-old son. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had to figure it out. And I went to college, and when my husband and I were separating, I said, oh my God, I can't stay in school. And my instructor, her name is Grace Alexander Washington, and she was like, oh no, you bring that baby to school with you, we gonna watch him, you are going to finish.
Wow.
So that alone gave me the desire, like if she believes in me, I have to.
Right.
So I did, I went back to school, I got my associates. Then I decided I'm going to be more than this. So I continued to go to school and I got my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. And I worked through that and my master's degree in professional counseling. And I'm just, yes, I make sure that I do what I can throughout my struggles.
What were some of the setbacks that you had while you were going through the culinary school and also going back to get your degree as a counselor?
One of the setbacks was I lost that husband. So my first husband, although we separated, we were still friends. We still maintained the relationship in order to rear our children. And he passed, and I was there when he passed. And that took everything out of me, because although I knew we weren't together, I still desired for him to be well and us to be together.
Okay.
That was our
That's
ultimate.
beautiful.
Although we were still living our lives, I still believed in that love. So after he passed, I kind of lost focus. And also losing my father was another thing that kind of set me back a little bit. But I just kept fighting because I just couldn't give up.
As a mother, when there's a setback, you can't just say, let me go in the room and let's do my thing, because you still have those children.
Yeah.
So how do you pull up your pants and say, you know what? It's not about me. I got to maintain, because you alluded earlier that you were setting an example by going back to school for your children,
Yes.
which motivated and gave you the energy to continue on.
Yes. So it actually was my baby girl.
Okay.
Because my older two children, they're living their own lives. They're out. My son is in Arizona. My oldest daughter, she is successful as well. And my baby girl was the one in the house with me.
Okay.
And that's the one that prompted me. The bus comes right at the front door. But she wouldn't get on that bus. She'd say, "Mom, you gotta take me to school." And I'm like, "Girl, just go to school, get on the bus." But she prompted me to fight because of her strength. She wasn't giving up on me.
Right.
So I knew I needed to get myself together in order not to give up on her, because I had given up. I was tired, I was hurting, and I couldn't see through my own pain.
Wow.
Well, when we come back,
Yeah.
we're going to take a break here, and then we're going to come back and talk more about success after struggle.
Thanks for sharing your story.
Thanks.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
On the Couch with Shuntai and Johnell focuses on educational, humorous, and insightful topics based on extraordinary lives of real people. Each episode provides real talk from real people.
You desire to have that family.
Okay.
You desire to maintain it, have a mother, a father, and a child. And I struggled with that because my husband was abusive.
Coaching is about pulling out what's already there and helping you see what's already there.
Who gave you the authority to say that you're the king of brand?
I don't want to be with nobody. I'm not playing any games. I want to get my career. I want to get going with my life and establish myself in what I want.
Join Shuntai Hill, a certified counselor, and Johnell Allen Bay, a life coach and relationship expert, weekly for On the Couch with Shuntai and Johnell. Shuntai Hill and Johnell Allen Bay are the king and queen of relationships. Each week, the couple engages their audience with hot, sexy topics about relationships for the grown and sexy. The show is interactive, fun, and
Our
real.
next topic. I got drunk. Hold on. I got drunk the other night, and my girl grabbed my ears from behind. So she was behind him, grabbed his ears, and then he smacked her. I immediately apologized, but to be honest, I meant it, and I knew it was her. I felt horrible about hitting her, but I felt good at the same time. What's up with this?
Tune in weekly to She Say, He Say with Shuntai Hill and Johnell Allen Bay. For more information, visit shesayhesay.media.
So we're back again with success after struggle.
Yes.
And we have another guest sitting on this couch.
Fallon Williams.
Hello, Fallon.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, okay.
So Fallon, tell us, who is Fallon Williams?
Fallon Williams is a mommy from Flint, Michigan.
Okay.
I definitely can talk about struggle, but I sit here today in peace and full.
Okay.
Wow. So we're talking about the struggle. you're sitting here in peace, but there was things, the struggle you had to go to get to your peace.
Yeah, that's true. For me, my peace came from when I had my daughter. She's 5 years old now. And growing up in Flint, I feel like I had to push through different circumstances. I lost my grandmother who raised me. And my mother, I lost her shortly after. Wow. And so it was like two major players in the game. And I hit depression and I hit sadness, but myself wouldn't give up. Like, I couldn't give up.
What did your depression look like?
Especially with a baby.
Yeah, depression is you can't go out of the house, you don't want to see anyone. Depression is actually really common. Sometimes depression just looks like eating a lot, right? And still showing up to work because you still have to pay the bills. So I gained a lot of weight within my stress, and a lot of people maybe didn't even know I was very stressed, but I was very heavy and sad.
Okay. So what did because you were functioning, you had to get up and go to work. Was that difficult for you?
I'm not even going to say it was difficult. What happens is you don't even know that you do your regular routine. That's actually easy. We wake up in the morning, we get dressed. It's almost like you're on autopilot. And then something happens that makes you realize that you are not functioning at your highest level.
Okay.
So I decided to move away, and that shook some things up. So I moved to Atlanta, and my daughter stayed with my best friend for 3 months while I got situated in Atlanta. I shook some things up, and I said, I am leaving, and I'm going to make something for my baby.
Wow. So you got the courage and the confidence to do something different. Now, had you lived anywhere else? Have you always lived in Michigan?
Well, when it's just me, I would pick up and leave. I've lived in Florida. I lived in Texas. I do hair. And so you can do that anywhere.
Okay.
So I just decided I was going to leave.
Especially when you're good now.
Yeah.
If you ain't no good, you can't do it anywhere.
Right.
When you're good, you can. And I decided I was going to get started in Atlanta. But like I said, Florida was like a dream come true. I never thought that I would leave there. And then my mom died, and I ended up, it was a whole grief, right? You lose your mom, and that hit me like a ton of bricks. So after I went through my grieving process, which took about 3 years, I would say, I decided to move to Atlanta with my daughter, and I slow and steadily created a life, a safe haven, and we are happy. I think that success comes from just giving myself more love and not putting too much pressure on what I want the life to look like. So I spend a lot of time doing spiritual baths, prayer work. I'm a very spiritual person, and I'm successful in my business. I have clients. I've done further education. I just finished my real estate course, so I can do that. I'm dreaming and setting goals and accomplishing them.
Awesome.
That is wonderful. So how long have you been in Georgia?
It'll be 4 years coming up in March this year.
Right. So March will be 4 years. And when we come back, we want you to tell our audience more about just adapting, because you picked up a brand new baby and moved on.
So with each one of our guests, they had to adapt. So when they come back, we'll come back
from our break.
We're going to learn more about the sacrifices that they went through, how they overcome their struggles, and they're going to provide some tips for our audience on what they can do.
Because they make it look easy. When I look at them, I don't see no struggle. So I'm missing some stuff.
You never know what someone is going through.
When I'm going through something, you'll tell. Because I'll be like, Lord, help me. I'll like hold a cross. Just, oh, Lord, what I'm going to do.
So we'll be back with more On the Couch with Shuntai and
Johnell.
On the Couch with Shuntai and Johnell focuses on educational, humorous, and insightful topics based on extraordinary lives of real people. Each episode provides real talk from real people.
You desire to have that family.
Okay.
You desire to maintain it, have a mother, a father, and a child. And I struggled with that because my husband was abusive.
Coaching is about pulling out what's already there and helping you see what's already there.
Who gave you the authority to say that you're the king of brand?
I don't want to be with nobody. I'm not playing any games. I want to get my career. I want to get going with my life and establish myself in what I want.
Join Shuntai Hill, a certified counselor, and Johnell Allen Bay, a life coach and relationship expert, weekly for On the Couch with Shuntai and Johnell. Shuntai Hill and Johnell Allen Bay are the king and queen of relationships. Each week, the couple engages their audience with hot, sexy topics about relationships for the grown and sexy. The show is interactive, fun, and
Our
real.
next topic. I got drunk. Hold on. I got drunk the other night, and my girl grabbed my ears from behind. So she was behind him, grabbed his ears, and then he smacked her. I immediately apologized, but to be honest, I meant it, and I knew it was her. I felt horrible about hitting her, but I felt good at the same time. What's up with this?
Tune in weekly to She Say, He Say with Shuntai Hill and Johnell Allen Bay. For more information, visit shesayhesay.media.
And welcome back to more On the Couch with Shuntai and Johnell. I am Shuntai Hill.
I'm Johnell Allen Bay.
And today we have with us a conversation with Fallon and Nicole talking about success after struggle. And both of you experienced loss in your life. How were you able to deal with the loss in order to get your mind right to carry out your vision for your life?
Big question.
I would say for me, I actually had to go to counseling.
Okay.
In my family, it was more so, you need to be praying. You're not praying hard enough. You need to get your village. But I went, and it was amazing for me because I learned a lot of things about me and my struggles that not going to counseling, I never would have known. So that's what gave me the strength. Going to counseling, staying in my word. Also, because you can't do one without the other, but I knew that God created counselors. He gave them the knowledge in order to help you. So I felt that it wasn't wrong for me to be going to get the help that I needed. So that's how I garnered my strength.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Fallon?
And for me, it was more so the opposite. So I was mad at God.
Okay.
I'm sure we've all been in situations, and I just was like, you took my mom from me. You couldn't possibly love me. And so I sat in it. I'm not, I think sometimes it's okay to just sit in your grief, get through it and feel it instead of us trying to push away our feelings and push away the anger and, whatever it is. We always try to hide the bad parts of our emotions.
Right.
So
Right.
Instead, I sat in it. My best friend let me sit on her couch, which I feel like was about a year, but it wasn't quite that long. And I didn't have very many facial expressions. I just remember being on her couch very dry. But it was a safe space.
Right.
So I did that. I sat in my grief. And then when I was ready to come up, that's when I decided to start eating healthy and pouring love into myself. I started doing crystals and essential oils. Whatever it was that I wanted to get into,
Right.
I did. I do spiritual baths and whatever I wanted to do.
Right. So you get to the point to where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Right.
So you know you got to do something. And I love the fact that you said that you sat in it because that's real. That is real. We can all at some point sit in something, but knowing when it's time to come out of it.
My question is this here, because I imagine you going through what you had to go through at this time, but there's children involved.
Yes.
So what's your perception of your child seeing you go through there? Because that kind of like wake you up a little bit, because you don't want the child to see you wrecked because you trying to do something to make sure that child becomes erect, right? So how does that go? What's going through your mind doing that?
I hid it. I hid from my children. I always put on the mommy face. My children didn't know my struggle. I cried at night.
Right.
I would get in my car after I dropped them off at school.
Right.
I cried.
Okay.
Because I didn't want them to know. I had 2 children at the University of Kentucky when I first started breaking down. And I didn't want them to stop school.
Okay. Yeah.
So I encouraged them and told them, you have to be better than you think you can be. So I didn't give them the option of coming back home when they was like, oh, you're not feeling well? No, you're gonna finish. You don't have that option. And then having my baby girl, it was, look, we still finna do this. Like, come on, let's go. And she noticed a little bit because she was closer to me. But I didn't want her to see me cry.
Wow.
At all, no. Because they need to know mommy has it. Mommy can do this.
Right.
So I hid in that.
Yeah.
So you both were able to overcome.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I was pregnant, actually. So my mom passed away, and then immediately after that, I got pregnant, and then my daughter was born. Actually, my mom passed away in April, and my daughter came shortly after, like April. My daughter came in a year later.
Wow.
So everybody says like, your baby gonna be a crybaby. You know, that's what I kept hearing. You crying all the time. But now, actually, Phoenix is my daughter's name. She actually was able to revive me, and I have more happy days than sad. And if she does see me break down, which she does occasionally, she's like this really warm, strengthening person. So she just instantly grabs me and uplifts me. I think it's okay for her to know about emotions because they tell us what we're supposed to do at the right time.
Yes. Yeah. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
So you both were able to overcome. You got your master's degree.
Yes.
And now you're a therapist helping other people.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
And Fallon?
I am here in Atlanta. We're successful. Phoenix starts kindergarten. I'm a single mom rocking it out. I make it look easy. And I am a successful hairstylist. I have my own salon business. I do hair and working on the real estate end of things.
So what are some tips that you can provide for our audience and those other single moms or just people that's trying to make it and put one foot in front of the other to get ahead?
For me, I think that a tip that works for me is spiritual cleansing. I'm going to say that. Being around different energies on a regular basis, you get blocked. You get confused at what's your stuff and what's the other person's stuff. What baggage are you carrying from your partner, from yourself, from your friends? So I practice regularly doing a Sunday cleansing day where I do my spiritual baths, sage, I cleanse myself, my home, to rid of all toxic negative energies. That's my tip.
Okay.
Awesome. I would just say, keep going. Don't ever stop pushing yourself. Even when you're down, keep going, keep fighting. Because when you give up on you, that's it. Because others will always give up on you. But when you give up on yourself, you're at the bottom. But you gotta know that there's somebody. And that's Christ is going to get you from the bottom and bring you to the top. And you just have to believe it. So I would tell them, garner the strength within and know whose child they really are. And that's where their strength will come from.
Wow.
Thank you. That's special.
That is.
And so, as mothers, I always think about my mother, whenever, because I'm very fond of mothers. And one of the things that she would always tell us that when things were difficult, she would say, go pack your stuff. And we would pack up like we were taking a trip. And we would get our luggage and we would walk, we go in the other room, and that was a vacation. But it gave us something, through anything that you go through, you can still find something to be able to be thankful for and have fun. And so that's what you guys brought into mind. And I thank you for joining us on the couch.
I thank you.
And one last tip, you also want to make sure that you build your support system. What does your
Yes.
village look like? If you lose your village, you have to recreate it. And you may have to adopt people into your lives that you didn't think you would bring into
That's
your
true.
life.
Yes.
Yes.
You gotta start over.
Starting
So,
over.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I have 2 blessing children. I have 4 children total. 2 are natural, 2 are blessings. And not having them in my village, I don't know where I would be, because their support as well has kept me and kept pushing me to be successful. So
Yes. So thank you, ladies, for
Yes,
joining us
awesome.
on the couch. And tune in for another episode. Thank you for joining us.